right, positive energy all the time. Good to see you all. Yes, indeed. We got Shreveport in the building. Of course, everybody on Facebook, Twitch, Kick, and YouTube. I am representing Chicago, aka Chirac. Come on in, come on in. Everything okay with the falls? You know how that goes. We got New Orleans in the building. We got Rock Hill in the building. Yeah, you know how that goes. I haven't been around anybody, so I don't know. I haven't been around the guys, and I haven't been around the guys since 2000. I haven't been around the guys in forever. I don't know, about 2000 and the last time I was around. I got out of the county jail in 98. I haven't been around any of the guys since probably 2010, probably. Except the rappers. The rappers. So I would be around gang members because I had like 5 different gang members that was rappers. And I would be around gang members by default because when we would make records, they would go and they'd get the song early. And of course, they'll be on their blocks and in their hoods banging those songs. And I would go to each one of their hoods and get the reaction and be around their friends. One was a Blackstone, one was a GD, one was a traveling vice lord, and one was a four-corner hustler. The one that was a four-corner hustler, I met him in the county jail. That's raw business. I met him in the county jail. He was in the next tip next to me. And that's an interesting story because I was starting my label right before I got arrested. And I had my wife at the time, she was sending me lots of magazines, any rap magazines, any black magazines, she would send them to me, put $25 on my book every week, which was the max. And you can't have cards in there, so I had her stick my record label business cards down in between the magazine, and if she put like 5 in there, they might find 2 and 3 get through. And I gave Raw Business a Rule the World Records. At that time, Royalty Records. The company was called Royalty Records. I gave him a card. I end up bailing out and beating my case. He ended up going to prison, and he said when he was in prison, he wanted to write me, but he couldn't find a card for nothing. And he was like, Pharaoh, man, I couldn't find your card for nothing. He said, so finally it came time for him to be released, and they called his name to pack up his stuff to leave prison. And he said, man, the day they called my name to pack up my stuff, he said, I'm getting all my stuff, throwing it in the bag. And he said, your business card fell on the ground, man. He got out on a Thursday. He got on a, he got out on he got out on a Thursday. I had him in the studio on a Friday, and I had him in the radio station Saturday. WH3K, I had him at WH3K over there in Hyde Park Saturday with a song in there with the guys rapping. So I would be out west with him. But like my brother was like I kind of knew him. I call him like a brother or cousin or something. I met him in there, but we became really close. And when he got out of prison, we was really close. So I was always out west with him. He was a foe, and then he had a son. And when he had a son, he was just obsessed with his son. So that kind of took him out the streets a little bit. But it was a little too late, little too late, because he was really high ranking and a lot of stuff happened. Let me see what the comments are saying. Good to see you, the 5, original, XYZ, G-Ra, D'Angelo, Arnell, Baby Lane, Kathy, White G, Free the Guys. Where you been, White? I ain't seen you in a minute. It's hard to know who everybody is now that they changed our YouTube names, huh? It's crazy. So I'm talking about this because Bro Man, they ended up having to retry him for something happened in his case. They retried him, and he was found guilty again. So yeah, he was found guilty again. I'm not going to get into any details about any gang activity on this internet. I'm not active. Once a vice lord, or once a foe, or once a GD, or once a BD, or once a Blackstone, always a Blackstone, but I'm not active. I haven't been active, and that's what it was. But the reason I'm talking about this is because I had somebody ask me, did I know Bro Man? And of course, my response is, I don't know anybody. I don't know nobody. I don't know anybody. But Bro Man was not our P. I can't say that. So he wasn't our P. I would be considered a body snatcher, and RP would be Shaky. Shaky was RP. Bro Man wasn't RP. Shaky was IP. Free Shake too. So Shaky was IP. Shaky Sean, and of course both him and Broman are innocent, according to Pharaoh. And brothers go to prison because their names be popping. Somebody else gets in a lot of trouble. They get caught. They're looking at prison time. They get to making up stories on other people and willing to testify on other people to send them to prison. That's pretty much how it works. 85% of the time, you don't get caught for doing nothing. I pretty much knew. I pretty much knew that was you when I seen white. You know what I'm saying? And I seen the sixes. Which white flag, when I came out of the county jail, a four corner hustler, the guys was always getting on me because my guys was all GDs. My guys out before I went in was GDs. So they was like, man, Pharaoh, man, you bogus as hell, bro. You supposed to be GD. They was mad. It was like, man, you riding around with them 6-point stars on your car. I said, bro, I did not buy them wheels because they had 6-point stars. They just happened to have that. I just bought them because I liked them. Bro, stop. No, man, you had the sixes on the truck, man. Get y'all ass out of here. But so somebody asked me, they asked me about Bro Man, and I was like, no, I wasn't no, he wasn't LP. Shaky was LP. And I'd never met Shake either because the guys wouldn't take me around. They wouldn't take me around the P to, you know. My story is crazy. So they wouldn't take me around the P. They said, man, Pharaoh, you talk too much. He ain't gonna want to hear that shit. And I'm like, man, let me talk to that dude. No, Pharaoh, no. he swore I catch a violation in court. He said, man, you gonna get beat up, man. I said, no, I'm not. He's like, man, you gonna, bro, Pharaoh, you talk too much, bro. Because I was always trying to tell the gang members to go legal, and nobody wanted to hear that. So he said, dude ain't gonna want to hear that. He said, Shake ain't gonna want to hear that. Because my thing was, listen, you got all this manpower. One of the hardest things to go into business is manpower. And I never understood the gangs because the gangs had manpower and had money. So I was like, well, why aren't you opening up car washes, laundromat stores, and everybody just go legal? Like the key to getting money is the manpower. I told all the gangs that. I mean, not all, but I told the Blackstones that in Harvey. I would be in Harvey on the block telling the Blackstones that. They wouldn't listen. Rest in peace to Big Lou. I don't know where Tez is at. Well, shout out Tez if you're out there. I used to tell the Blackstones that. They didn't want to listen. I used to tell the GDs that. I don't think I need to shout none of them out. Some of them might be on the run. I used to tell the GDs that. They wouldn't listen. I used to tell the vice lords that. They wouldn't listen. I used to tell the four corner hustlers. Nobody would listen. I would be in O Block telling the BDs when I lived in the O Block. They wouldn't listen. I was a four corner hustler living in O Block. Ugh. Surrounded by BDs. But I was in the music business, so I had gang members in the studio. I got a song with a BD on there. No, yeah, I got a song with a BD on there, two GDs, a four corner hustler, a Blackstone, and a traveling vice. So I got six gang. I got two GDs, a BD, a Blackstone, a four corner hustler, and a travel. So I got like six GDs on mixtape. I mean, six different gangs. I got like six different gangs rapping together on a mixtape. You know. So I was with music. Music is able to cross all barriers. Music and ganja. I was making ganja music. Everybody used to smoke and everybody liked to rap. So I was able to cross all the barriers. But somebody asked me about that situation. That's the only reason I'm talking about Bro Man, Free Bro Man. He got retried. I will say Dave was accused of the situation with Kato that DMX was rapping about that involved El Chapo and Kato and all that. El Chapo and I think the Latin Kings and the Four Corner Hustlers. So they was accused of all of that. But that wasn't my P. If you want to know P, it's like Prince. Everybody's there's got a P. There's different P's. There's different sects, I guess I would say, of the Four Corner Hustlers. And that wasn't my thing. We were what you call body snatchers, and sometimes they were different colors. But if you go to the county jail or prison, you don't get to be separate. If you go to the county jail, you don't get to be different type of vice lords or four corner hustlers or black. Everybody on the five is on this side, and everybody on the six is on that. That's how it used to be. I think now the shorties, I think they in the county jail divided. When I went to the county jail back in the late 90s, uh, BDs and GDs had to ride together. BDs, GDs, Latin disciples had to ride together, and Blackstones and Latin Kings and Folk Corner Hustlers and all the Vice Lords had to ride together. It was just the five and the six and the neutrons. I came in a neutron though. I was notorious, allegedly, I was a notorious uh, violent, which they be lying. I wasn't doing nothing violent, but I guess all my gun cases is in. So they had me as armed and extremely dangerous and this notorious uh, armed drug dealer, which is bullshit, boy. I'm telling you, they be making stuff up. I was just getting money. I was just making money. I was no notorious, not extremely dangerous. That's nonsense. I had my gun for me and my wife to protect ourselves at home, okay? I tell you, these stereotypes they put on you is just crazy. My beeper go off, I go make my delivery and come home. I didn't have a well, I did have a crack house, but I didn't work there. I had a it was a lady's house, and I just dropped off. She worked, so I never seen nobody. I just pick up the money, drop off more work, and then I delivered, green and white. But I delivered to like working people. You know, I wasn't I wasn't doing dimes and stuff on the street. I'm delivering to firemen, nurses, doctors, editorial people that run major magazines. I'm delivering to people getting money. My job was, and that's going to be in my book. My job as a selling illegal things. My job was a righteous job. My guess what my job was to keep upper working people out of trouble. That was my job. So my job was to make it so you don't got to go to the weed house and get busted. I'll bring it to your condo or your house. So it was a righteous job. I kept hardworking black people that just want to smoke a little weed on the weekend, or my job was to keep them out of trouble. I would bring it to their house. I was in my late 30s, early 40s, and it just looked like a relative was visiting. So if you called and you wanted to get something, when I come to your house, the neighbors wouldn't be suspicious because I didn't look like a criminal. I didn't look like a gang member. I just looked like an uncle or a brother or something visiting. And I would come in your house, bring you your stuff, stand in there and talk to you about 5 or 10 minutes, and then leave. I wouldn't just come up and leave and make it look illegal. I made it everything, nobody knew nothing. And then you never would get arrested. Nobody would never know what you're doing. And then the reason I made a lot of money because when I would bring these hardworking black people their stuff, like with the green, let's say I go and let's say YG got some really good green, and I'm getting a couple LBs. But let's say it's October, he got some pretty good green. And the next 2 weeks, he got some real good green. So what I would do is I would get 3 or 4 LBs of the real good stuff and save it. So now when Thanksgiving comes and Christmas comes, I'd break that out and deliver it. Now, when these working people have their little Thanksgiving gathering or Christmas gathering, the family there, and they pull out their little stash, they uncle or their cousin or their brother or their sister, auntie be like, where you get that at? And I made sure everybody had my business cards, and they would be like, oh, call my man. So that's how I increased my business to make thousands and thousands of dollars. Because I knew when the visiting season come, had the best stuff ever. And I had a business card, and that's back in the beeper days. And in order for me to know that you was connected, you had to put 007. You had to put your phone number and 007. If you didn't put 007, I ain't calling back. Because 007 was my code. Because that was like the black James Bond. I used to carry a Walther PPK, right? Dun-dun, dun-dun. I used to carry James Bond's pistol. I think all that'll be in the book. And so you had to put in 007. And at like 4 in the evening, so many people would call. My beeper wouldn't work. My beeper wouldn't work. So it'd get 8 o'clock at night, and all the beeps started coming from 4 in the evening. So I had two beepers from two different companies. One company, I guess they would have get overloaded. So on my card it say, call this number. If you don't hear back from me in 2 or 3 minutes, call this number. You got to put in 007. So I had two beepers, I had two numbers, and I made a lot of money. But I was around a lot of gang members, especially like GDs. Uh, but I only became a vice lord for a corner hustler because of my name, which is I tell that to a lot of the guys I meet, and they be cracking up and they can't believe it. But the vice lords that make a lot of sense in the black songs because I only end up four corner hustler because my name was Pharaoh, which is crazy because my name ain't that crazy because they all up under the pyramids. One of their dead gang symbols is the pyramids. So when they found out my name was Pharaoh, uh, they was tripping because of the pyramids. Let me see. Does this have a pyramid on it? Yeah, isn't that crazy? No, they don't got the pyramid on that one. But yeah, a lot of them is under the pyramid. Let me see if I can find it. Which is crazy. Ain't it? That's crazy as hell, ain't it? Imagine that. That's how I was. That's why I was heavily favored. Isn't that crazy? It didn't matter. I was allegedly dangerous. So, well, nobody gonna do shit anyway, but get their ass poked up any goddamn way. I hadn't fixed myself yet, so I was still kind of very mean. When I got out and got remarried and had my youngest daughter, that's when I became a nice person. It took a long time, but I got there. When you're the seller, you're at the top of the pyramid anyway. So yeah, when they found out my name was Pharaoh, see the Blackstones? And so the Viceroys and the Blackstones, when they found out my name was Pharaoh, they was tripping. That's like, that's your real name, Joe? For real? And so they was tripping. So I was kind of like honorary anyway, just because of my name. That shows you how powerful a name is. Because when I told them that my name was Pharaoh, they was just calling me Pharaoh. It wasn't until I had to go to court and the guards came and said, Pharaoh? And they're like, Joe, your real name Pharaoh? I'm like, yeah. They're like, damn, that's powerful, Joe. They was like, that's powerful, Lord. I wasn't even no Lord. I'm like, I ain't no Lord. They start calling me Lord. And they're crazy. They're like, that's powerful, Lord. I'm like, I ain't no Lord. Yeah, that was weird. Just for a name. So, you're free to guys. I can't, I'm not, I might, when the book come out, I might go into more details between the different foes. Right now, it's really crazy because you got all different types of GDs. We got renegades now, where it's a bunch of different gangs in a group. They might call themselves Whoop Whoop Gang, and they just whatever. It's really kind of super confusing now. Like in O-Block, it got some shorties, and they say they ain't dealing with the BDs. So they ain't dealing with that old shit. They something else. I forgot what shorty them said they is. So you got a lot of renegades now. It's crazy. Stay away from crime. I know so many brothers, they lost 20 years, 5 years. Some of them be losing some brothers be losing like 27 years in pieces. Can you imagine that? So, like, he did 3 years here, then he did 7, then he did 4. And it's like that, bruh. They been did like 23 years in pieces. I can't imagine that. Can you imagine going to prison for 3 years and then getting out, being out a couple years, then doing a 7? So that's 10, then getting out, then doing a 5. That's 15, then getting out and doing another 4. That's 19, then getting out and doing an 8. That's 27 years you done did. Your ass 49, 50 something. That's absolutely crazy. Some don't get that lucky. First time they gotta do a 27 piece, 30 piece. First time they get 30, they end up serving like 21. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? And it's all because of nobody wants to hire you. You uneducated and you're not patient because somebody eventually will hire you, but you impatient. You need money. You pretty much. Mm-hmm. You get back around the wrong people, or you own drugs, which is the main thing. And when you're on drugs, a lot of times you have to sell them to afford them. Yeah, they say I'll see you again when you leave. They say, okay, see you soon, because the guards, that's how they make a living. They need prisoners. They tell you, they be like, you'll be back. Because many of them can't read. They can't read at all. Cannot read anything. You ever met like a 27, 28-year-old man that can't read? I knew a brother in there. I forgot the dude's name. And we was kind of tight because I'm a naturalist psychiatrist, so he would always be telling me about his mental issues with him and his baby mama, how they was stabbing each other up and stuff. Then she stabbed me right here, Pharaoh. Stabbed me with this one. She stabbed me with the fork. Look on my back. This one she stabbed me 4 times with the knife. And I'm in there giving them psychological help and being a brother. And so he told me, he said, "Man, Pharaoh, I love my baby, man. I want to write her a letter, but I can't read, bro. Would you help me write the letter?" So I was like, "Yeah, man, I help you write the letter." So we went in the cell in the tip, and he pulled the letter out, and he said he wanted to rewrite it. And when I looked at the letter, I didn't know one word on there. Let that sink in. A whole page. I didn't know one word. I couldn't recognize not one word on the whole letter. And tell me that's not deep. So I tried to pronounce what he wrote, and then I figured out what he was saying. For real. And one of the saddest things in my whole life, I'm not kidding, and I've seen homeless children, I've seen all type of bad car accidents. And man, if somebody asked me, for what's the saddest thing you've seen in your life, out of the top two was when we were sitting there and he had kind of finally got it. He was writing his letter. And that man said to me, he said, he 20 some years old. He said, THE, that's duh, right? I could not believe it. I'll never forget that, man. That man was in his 20s. He said, THE, that's duh, right? I said, yeah, that's duh, bro. Let that shit sink in. The man didn't know how to spell the. Man, that was, I can't explain it to you, man. That pull your whole heart out your chest. He trying to write his baby that he loved that they've been shanking each other for 4, 5 years. He loved her so much. He want to write her this letter. That man looked at me and said, THE, that's duh, right, Pharaoh? I said, yeah, bro, that's duh. So I helped him write the letter. And then, see, in there, you got the workers in there, like dudes that can draw anything, Minnie Mouse, Mickey Mouse, rainbows. And then I took the letter and you pay these dudes like some cookies or something, because that's how you trade in there. And then they would rewrite it and add their words. They was professional letter writers. You wonder how these dudes in penitentiary get married? Man, you wouldn't believe. And then they would rewrite it and draw kind of hearts and shit. This should be beautiful. So I paid some dudes some cookies. You should have seen that letter when he got through. My dumb ass got somebody to do one for me. The first one I did didn't have no drawings on it, just the writing. And I sent it to my wife. And when she came to visit me, she said, "You ain't write that." She said, "Cause I ain't all sweet like that and say all that shit. She know I ain't finna say that. She know my letter be like, hi, what's up? What you doing? Is you feeding the dogs? Make sure the house is locked. Keep the thing where you could get to it. What you on? Can't wait to see you. Knock that back like that. I'm a moron. But he wrote the letter for me. He said, all this, you the loveliest of my life and all this shit. It was beautiful. I sent it to her when she came to visit. She said, why you send me that letter? You know damn well you didn't write that. I said, come on. Hey. She said, it was nice, though, but I know damn well you didn't write none of that. You don't talk like that. It was so beautiful. I said, you ain't write that. I said, nah, I paid to do some cookies to write that. The next one I sent her, he drew and stuff on it. The gig was up. She already knew I wouldn't do it. So I just went and said, yeah, man, you can put the pictures and everything. She already know. Yeah, she knew damn well. I ain't write all that. Yeah, I grew up with the old school parents. They wasn't emotional like that. They didn't do all that. They didn't do all that. Tell you they love you and all that shit. Which I think was the better way to grow up, because the fact they didn't tell you they love you and shit, you just figured it was anyway. You know what I'm saying? It would have never crossed your mind. Your mom and daddy don't love you. You know what I'm saying? That ain't gonna even cross your mind. So why even say some stupid shit like that? What you mean you love me? You my daddy. You know what I'm saying? We grew up much better, so we didn't have no type of emotional hang-ups about that. That never would have crossed our mind back in the 60s and the 70s that your mom and them never would have had to tell you they love you. That shit sound crazy. You'll be thinking, is there mamas that don't love their kids? You'll be thinking, what? But mom, why are you telling me that? You know what I'm saying? That would have sound crazy because you can't imagine don't nobody don't love you. Like I never would have thought my parents don't love me. Like that would have never crossed my mind. When I was growing up, that would have been an insult to our parents. That would have been the worst thing to ask my mother. Ooh, she would be so mad. Oh my God, my mother would have been so mad if you say, Mama, do you love me? She would have been pissed. My mother would have been that would have pissed her off. Did you don't know that already? Yeah, a lot of generation, I ain't grow up hardcore. But I could see my mother right now. Oh my God, that answer would have been horrible. Mama, do you love me? No, boy, I just went and spent all my money on them Converse and stuff for nothing. If you don't get out my face, you know what I'm saying? My mother would have bought up all the shit she bought. She would have been like, do I love you? And I done went, boy, I just went, I spent $139 on your ass. You know, that's the first thing she would have said. Boy, all this shit you got. What? That would have been an insult. For real, she would have been like, oh, you was ungrateful. She would have looked at me like I was ungrateful, which makes sense. I never would have asked my mama no crazy shit like that. You know, the young generation messed up when you got to verify you love your kids. You know, we done fell all the way out. You know, you done fell all the way out when you got to tell your kids you love them. That you know that society is trash. Just think about that concept. You got to tell your children you love them. How is that even questionable? Like, you know, you got a wife and you've been with her in 10 years. She asks you, do you love her? That to me, that shit would be an insult. I'm thinking, no, bitch. You know what I'm saying? The fuck? You know what I mean? I'm thinking, what? Uh, that's to me, that's an insult for a woman to ask me that. To me. You know what I'm saying? I could see you really not sure the first year when we first fall in love. I could see you wondering if I'm in love yet. I could see that. Because, you know, when you first meet, you're not in love. You just meet. And then you, what they call fall in love. I don't like to say fall, because I call like say stand in love. So then next thing you know, you stand in love. And after 3 years, this should be obvious. I mean, after 36 months, I can't comprehend being with a woman I don't love. That just, I don't know. I can't comprehend that. I'm trying to figure out how do you be with somebody you don't love? Maybe if you a penitentiary user and you trying to pamper a user or something, maybe. Like if you broke and she going to work and you driving her car, I could see that. But if you spending your hard on money on her, I don't I don't see why I would spend money on you and do anything. Like I don't see me taking you to dinner and buying you stuff if I don't love you. I don't see that. I don't see how that could happen. I don't see how I could be buying you anything for your birthday, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day. I don't see how I would do that and don't love you. That sounds crazy. I mean, I could see not getting married for a while. That don't mean I don't love you. Marriage ain't got nothing to do with love. Marriage is a social is a marriage is like a driver's license and a city sticker on the car. So marriage has nothing to do with love because marriage is not really a sanct it's not really a religious thing. Marriage is now a city thing, like getting a city sticker on your car, basically. So to me, marriage don't mean love because you gotta get love. What you need a license for? What's a marriage license? What that got to do with love? A marriage license? So I think the marriage license makes it more of a government function than love to me. To me, I get married for legal purposes. So she could be on the bank account and all this type of shit. To me, marriage is illegal. It's something legal. I don't see it as emotional. I don't see it having anything to do with love because I give you an example. Let's say I'm with a woman and I ask her to marry me and we decide we're going to get married next year. I had to love her before I even asked her to marry me, right? I wouldn't ask you to marry me if I didn't love you already. So you can't say, I don't love you until next year when we get married. And you can't say, I didn't love you before I asked you, because if I didn't love you, I wouldn't have asked you. So I don't think marriage got nothing to do with love. I usually be in love with a woman. If we start dating, I usually be in love with a woman in about a month, 3 weeks to a month. I usually be real tight with a woman. In about 3 weeks, we be tight already. Because when you first get in a relationship, you hang out a lot at the beginning. At the beginning, you be on the phone and you be around each other a lot. I'm talking about a whole lot. If because you usually don't live together, and then when you date her and like her, she either at your house for days or you at her house, like right away, like 2 or 3 dates, and it's up for me typically in every relationship I've been in. I ain't never been in a relationship where it was like this long period of time before she was mine in my mind. That's usually pretty quick because if not, then you don't date too much. You don't call it too much. You don't date. You start going out with somebody else, basically. If you go out with her and it don't click, you'll go out with somebody else if it don't click. If it don't click, you ain't going out with her. You ain't gonna if it don't click early, right away, you ain't gonna keep going out with her. Because with me, you either like her or you don't. Ain't no in between. And she either like you or she don't. I ain't never seen no in between. I went on a lot of one dates. I took her out one day. I didn't like her, and I never invited her out again, and never called her no more. 'Cause I just didn't like her. That wasn't it. Usually, the second or third date is when you check in to see if, and then it's up for me anyway. Sometime the first date, first time you hang out, and then you just be together from then on out. You ain't noticed that. You get her phone number, whatever. You go see her from the first time you go see her. You can't remember when you didn't never go see her after that. My youngest son mother, I remember I got her number and went to visit her, and I don't know when I left. You know what I'm saying? I was just there. That's why they be lying when they say, "Oh, you moved in with a woman." It don't be like that. How soon should you initiate sex with someone new? Uh, well, first off, if you don't get along in a date, you're not gonna pursue sex. So you're not gonna pursue her. If you don't like her on the date, you're trying to hurry up and drop her ass off. For a woman have to basically sex works naturally. So whenever her body get hot, it's up. So naturally, all this stuff happens naturally. And if she really likes you and she gets really horny and stuff, it's gonna pop off. And it's a two-way thing. So your body's gonna respond to her body. It's gonna happen organically. For me, it's always organic. It was never no thinking about it or nothing. You just be there, and next thing you know, you be fucking. For me, I don't remember no, and I got 6 children. I don't remember no mental behind it. It's always just organic. It happened when it happened. It could be on the first visit. It could be on the second visit. It just happens when it happens. There's no. It's all spontaneous for me. And a lot of times, it's gonna happen when she feels it. It's not gonna really happen when you feel it. Like she's not sexy until she feels sexy. And then when she's not sexy, you're not going to pursue it because she's not sexy. She's not acting sexual. Because typically she acts like she's in heat. You know what I'm saying? When you go out with her, like they like dogs and shit. Because we all are mammals, and you can tell when she's in heat. And when she's in heat, it makes you hot. Typically, for me, like women create the arousal. I don't get aroused prying at you trying to I'm not really into trying to have sex with you. That's not attractive to me. That's to me that's not a turn on. Like me trying to have sex with you to me is not a turn on. I'm not really with that. See what I'm saying? I'm not really with that. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna attempt to deal with you like that. So if I go out with a woman and then she's a little cold or whatever, it's not. I'm not going to be feeling sexual anyway. And there's a certain period where I'm not going to go see her no more. Not because she not acting sexual, but to me it just feel like we ain't a good match. If I keep going out with you, we never that heat never happens. To me, we ain't a good match. So I doubt if and it's not just because we ain't had sex. It's just to me we're not a good match. Why is it so awkward so long? You know what I'm saying? Now it's different for weird dudes because weird dudes be like prying for sex because they weirdos. But if you're a real player like that, you ain't picking at no woman for sex. Like that's weirdos. But the typical man, we ain't doing all that. The typical man, I'm not prying at you for sex. Are you kidding me? We don't chase them, we replace them. So we ain't chasing you like that. You know what I'm saying? All these women out here, you crazy. So if you don't feel hot and don't have no attraction for me, in my mind, you was a waste of time. I wasted my time with you. You ain't it. I don't have a problem with it either. It's just I'm not gonna be interested because it's not because we had sex. It's just we don't click. See, when you get with a woman and y'all click right away. Ain't no long time. You gonna click on the first date. You might not have sex on the first date, but if it's a match, it's gonna click immediately. It's gonna click. She gonna like you right off the top, or she not gonna like you. You gonna like her right off the top, or you not, and then everything play out from there. You might not have sex the first date because she might not want to give you an impression she easy. She might not feel comfortable. She might want to, but she might feel you might look at it and it might turn you off that she's available that quickly. And she want to make sure she don't look slutty. See, there's a lot of psychology to it. But if she pick up, you ain't gonna judge her and shit. It's up. You know what I'm saying? If everything is organic and you just regular and y'all just because when I meet a woman, go out, we just going out to have a good time. We not going to have sex. We just hanging out. We don't got no. I don't got no preconceived ideas. What you doing? You want? Let's go. Let's go get something to eat. First date. That's all I'm on is going to get something to eat. I don't got no plans. I might have plans as far as for the date, but I don't got no bed plans. I don't be having no bed plans for no woman. That's punks. That's weirdos. I don't got no bed plans for no woman. I ain't trying to pick no woman up and sleep with her. That's weirdos. That's a weirdo. I would say if you're a woman and a man pick you up and he trying to have sex, that's all he picking you up for. That ain't no real date. He think you that ain't no real date because a man. It's a difference between a sleazeball and a king. And a man got some royalty about himself. He ain't going like that. He not doing no sleazy shit. That's bad for his reputation. Said, I'm a king. What is you talking about? I ain't no sleazeball. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have sex before. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't picking up no woman like I ain't never had sex before. That make me look crazy. You won't even do that shit in high school with your high school girlfriend. You don't be with your high school girlfriend like you ain't never had sex before. You just hanging out with her. Basically, my high school girlfriend, we was just hanging out. I liked her. We hung out. I never thought about, oh, I like her. I want to have sex with her. I never thought like that. I just liked her and wanted to hang out with her. Sex always happened organically. I never got with a woman for sex. Unless she was a bust down. If she was a bust down, then you got an old girl you call, some chicks, that's different. That ain't no type of what you call romantic. That's not a relationship. That's just a bust down. That ain't no girlfriend. That's just some hoes that you get another hoe to go pick up some hoes. There's no emotions in that. That's just a fuck fest. But I'm talking about somebody you dating, somebody you meet and you get a phone number and you call her and you invite her out to dinner. That all happens organically, typically. And ladies, if he's trying to have sex with you, that's not an organic relationship. He's a loser. If a man try to take you on a date and try to push you to have sex, that that's never going to be a relationship. He do that all the time. That's not a relationship. He's a he's a he's a trick. He's a weirdo. Ladies, anytime you go out with a man the first day and he trying to press you for sex, that's a weirdo. Do not fuck with him. That's a loser. It's a weirdo. Ain't no real dudes don't function like that. That is a weirdo. Trust me. He's a nut. This is a nut. He didn't even invite you on no date for real. He invite you out for sex. How I invite you to dinner for sex? I invite you for dinner to go to dinner. So, ladies, if a man invites you somewhere and the ultimate goal is sex, that means he never really invited you for that. That's a weirdo. That's a man that ain't gonna never commit. That's a man, if you do have a baby by him, he ain't gonna be no daddy. He ain't gonna be no, oh, this is a fucking loser. Facts. Don't talk to him no more. Have him take you home and don't talk to him no more. He don't care. He gonna call another one anyway. I ain't never heard no boy the past. That's all new shit. I ain't never heard none of that. I ain't never heard all that. I don't know nothing about none of that. G-Rock. I never heard of that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never heard of nothing like that. You young brothers, you need to look at yourself as royalty. Stop looking at yourself as a goofy. You're not supposed to look at a woman like you getting something because you have sex. You're supposed to look at it like she getting something too. Like if you chasing her, that means you ain't got no value. You don't got no value. She got all the value. She's supposed to want to have sex with you too. What is it where it's one sided? You just want to have sex with her. That's because you's a fucking loser. You don't got no value. Ladies, any man like that put all the value on you, he telling you he ain't shit. Because he don't act like he worth nothing. He act like you is the item. He ain't got no worth. I got worth. I'm the one got the juice. She don't got, you know what I'm saying? She need to get some of this. She need to want some of this juice. I'm the one gonna put juice in her. She ain't put no juice in me. So she need to get what she need up in her. I'm good. And them weirdos have took away men's position in life, have cheapened men. Facts. Dudes that chase women like that and just want to have sex, they cheapen men. They take away men's value. You don't got no value. She got all the value. Now you got to have so much money. You got to have this kind of car. You got to have all this because you took away your value like that. You put her up over you. She's the item, and you're trying to get the item. What is you then? If she the item, oh, you ain't nothing. I get it. That's how these goofy dudes is nowadays. The woman is the item. He ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? Crazy. And ladies, a man that just look at you as a sex item, ask yourself, do you want to have a daughter by him? Do you want to get pregnant and have a daughter by him? Because he ain't gonna have no value in his daughter if he ain't, you know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be no difference in your mother, your woman, and your daughter as far as your value in a woman. You shouldn't treat no woman less than you would want somebody to treat your mother. Period. Or your daughter. You're supposed to treat my daughter the same way you want to treat your daughter. If not, my daughter shouldn't fuck with you. Also, if I find out, you're going to have a problem. Anyway, if I find out you playing with my baby, that could go bad. You could knock on the door and she ain't there. And I'm there. Come on in, nigga. you know? That's it. You could knock on the door and I'll be there. Me and a couple of introduce you to a couple of friends of mine. Come on in. Hey, Big Mac, close that door behind him. What's up? That's how the conversation start. What's up? And this is how I'm looking. Then you get the arm around you. You know I'm just telling you. Be careful whose daughter you're playing with. Be careful. Because one thing about us, we protect our son, but we will really hurt you over our daughters. Seriously. And if you're a weirdo and daddy don't like you, daddy gonna tell her, I don't know why you with that fucking loser weird. He's a fucking weirdo. I went to dinner with my daughter this past weekend and met her man. She been with a couple of years. I hadn't met him. I liked him. He was cool. He was real tall, stout up. He was a man. He was, you know what I'm saying? He was a real decent dude. I liked him. He was cool. He had everything. He had all the qualities. He was standing on his business. He was real respectful. I could tell he really liked her a lot. I could tell she liked him. It was cool. I liked him. I invited him out. I went to pay. He paid. Yeah, he paid. I was gonna pay. I got everything I wanted to him. Get whatever y'all want. And we got time to pay. He said, no, sir, I got it. I said, okay, cool. I gave her the 200. I gave her $200 here. She's like, you know, she a woman. Thanks, Dad. She took it quick. He didn't want the money, but my baby girl, she, hey, my baby girl, he didn't want me to pay. But when I gave her the $200, you should see how fast she grabbed her money. She was like, "Wow, thanks, Dad." Boop. No problem. You know what I'm saying? And then she was like, you could have gave me all your money. She wouldn't have turned down shit. He was cool. You know what I'm saying? He was cool. I'm sure he could tell if he get out of line, he gonna get the brakes beat off of him. I'm sure he. I didn't really put that vibe out there because he was cool, so we was just talking about stuff. You know what I'm saying? His daddy was a grower, grow herb. He don't smoke no more because he said he got tired of not getting really good jobs because he had to take a P test. He was saying all some really good shit. He was like, I don't smoke no more because I just wanted to get a good job, make some good money. And I'm tired of getting jobs where I don't have to take a urine test. He said, because those don't be good jobs. I'm like, all right, cool. He said, I don't drink. I've been quit drinking. I don't drink. I don't smoke. That was cool. Nah, I didn't know about his dad. He was telling me about his dad and his mom. His dad got a sickness, so he grow herb for medical reasons. His dad got a sickness, so he do it for medical. He grow his own for medical. He got like some medical issues. So I told him about how I used to grow up in Hawaii and how I was in the marijuana movement with music. How I made marijuana music. My daughter like, I let them hear it. My daughter like, I let them hear all your music, Daddy. So I made the first medical marijuana song ever. It's called Weed Helps. Look it up. Yeah, I'm historical. That's the first medical marijuana song ever made. Let that sink in. Facts. First medical marijuana song ever made. And I got two songs on weeds on Showtime. But that's another story. People just think, you know what I'm saying? I'm just over here talking. No, I'm a boss. I just don't tell everything. That's what I've been teaching my children. Like, if you over here and you do this, don't tell them what you do over here. All they need to know is what you do here. Compartmentalize everything. I was telling him I don't smoke like that no more because I started smoking as a kid, like out of sixth grade, and I smoked every day. And I'm kind of a very independent person, so I got my own apartment at 18. Me and my girlfriend, we wanted to have sex and walk around naked, cook bacon and eggs, and I went vegan, but. And so I've always had my own place, stuff like this. So when I had to move in and take care of my father, when I first started going live, I kind of lost my urge to smoke. I lost my urge to smoke. I think it's because I was in his house and I've been independent so long. So I just lost my urge to smoke. Then not after smoking for so long, I began to not be able to smoke it like I used to. Plus, I had already cut back when I became a dealer. So when I became like a drug dealer, I didn't smoke as. That's when I stopped smoking so much. So that's really how I really quit when I became a drug dealer because I didn't want to calm down. I was hustling. I didn't want to calm down, so I would roll up a split or a blunt, and I would just light it, hit it, and that was it. Because I was like supercharged chasing money, and sometimes I would get so supercharged, like you be right here when you charged up. Sometimes I would be charged up right here. Now, if you right here and you smoke, you go right there. I'm right here and I'm hustling. I'm right here. I don't want to go here. I just want to go there. So I just take one hit. I'm not trying to get high. I'm trying to calm down a little bit off of this hustle. So I didn't want to get high. I didn't want to get high. I just want to take off this edge, this aggression. So I would just hit it once and put it in the ashtray and go get my beeper, get my gun, and go do what I do. It's this long. It's supposed to last 10 or 15 days. I come back home. It's a roach. My wife just knocked it back. I said, where my thing at? I smoked it. Oh, God. So I was just basically rolling for her because I ain't going to do it but hit it once or twice. And when I come back, it's gone. If I was smart, I should have rolled two. No, because they both would have been gone. So that would have been the way. She would have smoked both out. I would have came back, hers would have been gone. I would have made another run, come back. Where the mine at? I smoked that one too. Jesus Christ. So I think that's when I stopped, when I started hustling. Because I can't smoke in the car because I got too much drugs and guns in the car. I got a gun in the car and a whole bunch of illegal stuff. So I can't smoke. I put a brand new ashtray in the car. So if the police pull me over, they ain't got no probable cause. They just give me a ticket, let me go. No smoke, nothing. So that's when I think that's when I started to get off of smoking weed. When I started hustling hard. When I was selling a whole bunch of weed and stuff. That's how I stopped. Cause I'm just chasing money. I don't want to smell like weed. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to smell like when I'm getting money. I don't need no probable cause. And I don't want to relax. If I want to relax, I'll go home and fuck my wife. I don't want to relax. It's up. You know what I'm saying? I don't do relax. I'm a gangster. You know what I'm saying? I get some liquor, a little bit, one little shot. That's it. I don't want to be drunk. I don't want to come down. I want to stay on 1,000. We gonna bring me down 1,900, 800, 700. No, I just need to hit it because I'm at 2,000 and I need to be at 1,000. Yeah, that's the first medical marijuana song ever made. Produced by me on my record label, Rule the World Records. The rappers, I think, and on there, Big Lou and TCO. One of them is a Blackstone, one of them is a GD, and one of them is a Vice Lord. Look what the type of work I had them doing as gang members. I had them making marijuana music. Took them out of that dangerous element and put them in a whole nother world. We had Seattle Hemp Fest, we had Oregon Hemp Fest. Put them in a whole nother environment. But I still let them rap the way they rap. I didn't make them rap. They wrote that and rapped it. That's what they wanted to rap. I let them rap. So if they wanted to rap it, and if they wanted to rap their songs, and they wanted to talk whatever kind of way they want to talk, I would let them do it. A lot of the people in the marijuana movement didn't like some of the ways they was rapping. Hey, man, that's not my job to tell them what to rap. All I want to do is make sure they rap it right. They got to write whatever's in their heart and put it down. So it was marijuana music, but a lot of times it was kind of street. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of whites, they ain't like it. And then it was racist too. The marijuana movement was still racist, still bigots. That's why all of the dispensaries, black folks ain't got none. They talk all like we're all together and we all need to smoke, and it was illegal because they mistreated blacks and Hispanics. And then as soon as it went legal, they said to hell with blacks and Hispanics, and all white people got all the dispensaries and all that. We were all stoners and we all went out the window. They was back racist. I'm not saying all white people is racist. I'm saying the system is racist and biased and prejudiced. And they just turned out to just be some more system dogs. I can't wait till I finish this first book and finish that book and go on that tour. First, I got to go on my book tour. Then I'm going to go on that marijuana book tour. Because basically, I'm probably the king of the marijuana movement. I come up under Jack Herr and all them, but they all passed away. Eddie left, rest in peace, and them. I know them. They was friends of mine. But the reason I say I'm the king, I'm first generation. Well, second generation. High Times was first generation. But guess who High Times made the magazine for? For me. My generation was the High Times buyers. My generation was the jobs rolling paper buyers. The hippies was the makers. But we was the first generation customers. That's a fact. I started high school in 1972. The hippies was in the 60s, right? The 60s in 1969, 69, 70, 71, 72. So us 70 teenagers, right, were the original customers. The hippies was my OGs. They was the original business people in the movement. And that's how I became a notorious drug dealer, because I was like a rapper, whatever, going to school at a Lutheran high school in 72, where the white dudes was taking me and plugging me with the hippies. I'm coming back to the hood with the shit. See what I'm saying? I'm going to school on 87th and Kedzie. The seniors taking me as a freshman out. I'm getting work from the hippies. I'm bringing it back to Maple Park and Morgan Park. So they're like, Stu got that shit. Stu Gambling got it. You know what I'm saying? Dudes would see me and say, man, let me trade a bag of my stuff for yours. I'm like, hell no. They're like, well, hold on, Stu, let me sell a bag of mine. I'm gonna buy yours. Yeah, but yeah, I don't want that shit you got, boy. You better sell that shit. Boy, you know I got the best shit in motherfucking shit, best black shit in Chicago. And I ain't nothing but a freshman. I had the best weed in the black community anywhere in Chicago. West side, south side, east side. I had the best shit because I was plugged with the hippies. Everybody else was just black in the black neighborhood. So I was like a rapper back then, you know. I'm at a Lutheran school, but I got cigarettes in my socks, dice in my pocket, tailor made clothes on. You know what I'm saying? I was like Jay-Z, you know what I'm saying? H to the Izzo, you know what I'm saying? For real. I was like Jay-Z before rap. I'm gonna get in all that when I drop the book. So the senior blacks and whites, they see this little freshman kid, tailor made clothes on, dice in my pocket, cigarettes in my sock, weed rolled up. They're like, hey! I'm like, what? Come here. They're like, come here. Bring your little ass here. They looking at me, kind of. They're like, come here. The OG seniors and shit, they see me walking through. They're like, hey, come here. They're like, look at this little nigga. Where you get them shoes at? Man, these Florsham, man. Where you get that shit you got on that? You know what I'm saying? They're like, you believe him? Where you get that? Who made your suit? Oh man, I got this from Edie. Edie and Rosie? Yeah. But don't worry about all that. What them dice do? That's what I tell the seniors, other freshmen. I pull my dice out. Man, don't worry about where I got my suit at. What's up? Let's go in the bathroom. Let me take y'all money. The senior's like, if you don't get your little ass to, the senior's like, if you don't get your little ass to class, yeah, I know you scared. I'm clicking my dice in the hallway at the Lutheran school. Supposed to be religious. I'm like, click, click, click. I know you scared. I know you don't want to get with Stu Gabler. You know what I'm saying? Lynch me, Lord. Gangster, Lord. You know what I'm saying? They like, get your little ass out of here. Yeah, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I was like a rapper. So the rich white dudes, they got brand new BMWs and shit. They're like, come on, man, go with me, guy. I'm like, yeah, all right. They'll take me out to the crib and be like, 15 white dudes. They like seniors and juniors. I'm like a freshman. And I'm the only, but I'm not like Jolly G. Whitakers, you know? I'm so hood. You know what I mean? I'm like, so I wish they would play with me. You know, because I had one advantage. I could go to the hood and bring my friends back. And you don't want to see Richard and Field and Aki and them. You don't want me to go get the guys. You know, you don't want me to go, you know what I'm saying? Because this is Lutheran school and public school is out on different days. So I could go out there on a public school holiday and tell my friends, meet me up at the school, man. People up here playing with me. They're like, all right, Stu, we gonna be up there, boy. We gonna woo, 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 woo. You know what I'm saying? You know how they is. They see a bunch of black guys. They're like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't had no problems. And then everybody was trying to save the ones like me. So when a lot of the black parents uh, didn't let their children like me go to public high school, they turned the private high schools into public high school because they tried to save me and Hambone and all and Dwight. And so we all end up, all the people with all the blacks with money trying to save their little badass kids, we all end up in the private school. So we kind of turned the private schools half public. So that kind of backfired. So my parents tried to get me out the hood, but sent me to a Lutheran school with a bunch of blacks from a bunch of hoods. So now instead of me just being in Maple Park, I'm over in Chapman, I'm in Princeton Park, because now I'm meeting blacks from all over Chicago. That kind of made me more citywide. I ain't just Maple and Morgan Park no more. I got friends now, Princeton Park over by 95th and Dan Ryan. I got friends in Chatham 87. I got friends over by Cole Park. I got, so now I'm all over the whole damn city. You know what I mean? That really helped my business model because I'm with white dudes that got all this stuff, and then I'm with some new black dudes from all over the city. So that's just made me more citywide, really, and make more money. I made more money, and I'm smart. I'm really good in math. Hold on, how much you want for that? Seriously? So the Prince Albert can of that is $15. 15. I make 80. Whoa. That when you smart, you could go to prison if you smart. They always say you go to prison if you uneducated, but being really smart can send you to prison too. Because you can add good. Like, I think I'm gonna sell illegal stuff. Like, how much I make with this illegal stuff? Divide. Oh, I'm gonna break the law. Is this how much you make if you break the law? You know, imagine spending $15 and making 80, and you're a freshman in 1972. Imagine that. You can't make that kind of. Ain't nothing in America today you could get for $15 and make $80. Ever had Hispanic and Asian friends? No. Chicago was black and white. Chicago just black and white. You got Chinatown. You got Little Village with some, but back in the 70s and shit, it wasn't a whole bunch of Asians except in Chinatown, and they just stay in Chinatown. And Chicago was just black and white. There was no Asian. There might be one Asian girl go to the school or something, but Chicago was just black and white in the 70s, 60s, and 70s, and the 80s. You know what I mean? That's it. It's just black and white. Even still now. Once you leave downtown, it's black as far as you drive south. It's black from downtown all the way out. $80 back then would be like for what you could buy with it. Yeah, it would be like between 200 and 300, depending on what you buy. Considering a loaf of bread was 25 cents. Imagine that. I mean, when I got out of high school, I had a 2-bedroom apartment for $250 a month. That's why we didn't go to college. Go to college for what? We go get a job. We got an apartment. We got a house. Yeah, I mean, we got cars. We could buy a house. You know what I'm saying? You didn't have to go to school. You didn't have to go to college when I grew up. Think about that. I graduated, and 2 days later, I worked for W. Paul Printing Company, making big money. Then I went to music college, and after that, I worked for a stock exchange. My my girlfriend, my girlfriend was like 19. She worked for Payne Weber. We worked on LaSalle Street for the stock market. Teenagers, you know what I'm saying? Think about that. I number what, like 19, and I worked for a stock exchange. And my girlfriend walked down the street for either Payne Webber or Merrill Lynch. I keep forgetting which one she worked for. One of them. On LaSalle Street. I'm wearing suits every day and ties. I'm like 19 or something. You know what I mean? We got a 2-bedroom apartment, $250. I got a Chevy Impala. I paid like $400 for it. Yeah, you could have had an apartment as a freshman, but nobody would have rented to you though. Ain't nobody gonna rent to you. You had to be 18 to do anything. The only thing you could do at 16 was get a driver's license, but you wouldn't never get no apartment. You gotta be 18. You had to be 18 to get apartment stuff. You had to be 21 to buy liquor. But they would sell us cigarettes when I was in the fifth grade. You could go up to the Clark gas station and buy cools of Salem's or Newports. You just go up there and say, "Let me get a pack of Newports. My mama sent me up here to get them." Okay. So I had to say, "My mama sent me up here to get her Newports." They say, "Okay, yeah." That's all I had to say. All you had to say is go in the store and say you shopping for your mama, because mamas would send their kids to go get the cigarette. Yeah, it's 250, but shit, that's 1976 though. That's 1976. I remember we was mad. It went up to 275. It had 2-bedroom apartment, fully carpeted. My mother paid to carpet it. You know what I'm saying? She had to do something. Her baby done growed up. You know? She's like, this boy is shit. You know what I'm saying? Imagine what your parents feeling like when you fast like me. I was fast. One day my daddy came home. I was 18. I was taking all my stuff off my wall. He said, "What you doing, boy?" I said, "Dad, I got an apartment." He just looked. He's like, "This boy, yeah. This nigga's a go-getter." I got a apartment, daddy. I said, shit, I wanted, man, I didn't want to live with my daddy. Me and my girlfriend, we wanted an apartment so we could be butt naked, have sex, smoke weed, and make bacon and eggs. Walk around eating bacon and eggs, and smoking weed and fucking. Oh, shit, we wanted to be grown. Ain't no kid no more, daddy. I'm 18. Because back then, graduating from high school was equal to graduating from college now. You could get any job, or maybe it's a doctor or a dentist, but you can get any job because they did on the job training. Trump said they want to bring that back. They should. You ain't got to go to college for these goddamn jobs. They still got to teach you how to do it. And you ain't even doing everything you learn in college. All that shit you learn in college, you don't use that when you get to work. Anybody tell you that? Go go to college for economics. Get out with your degree and go work in stocks and shit. You ain't gonna use none of that shit. And they still gonna have to tell you what to do. They're gonna be like, put this here, stamp this here, do that there. We sit this over there. Every company got their own way of doing it. You're gonna have to learn how they do it anyway. You just went to college for nothing. Unless medical. Because in medical, you got to know dosages and you got to know a lot about that. But anything else, like dentistry, medicine, yeah. But the other jobs, man, you know what I'm saying? You learn the real stuff, yeah, on the floor. Hmm. But you got to know basic stuff that they do got to have some training with millimeters and milliliters. And yeah, with that, yes, you need to have medical training. But like paper pushing jobs in offices, man, they just right. You don't need no school for office work. None. To work to work in the stock market and all that type of stuff, man, you don't need that shit. They can show you just what to do at the job. You're going to still have to do it the way they want you to do it. And what they used to do is, if you had a position, if I had a position, and then somebody gave a 2 weeks notice. So let's say a higher position gave a 2 weeks notice. So they're going to move me up to the higher position. So what they're going to do right away, they're going to hire somebody for my position. They're going to bring you in. I'm going to train you for 2 weeks. When this person leaves, then I'm going to go take that position and you're going to do my whole job. And then if somebody at a higher position leave, they're going to do the same thing. They're going to move me up. They're going to train me before they leave. They're going to move you up. They're going to bring somebody else in. So they would move people up and they would bring new people in the bottom. It was better when America did that like that. That was way better. Because in a big city, New York, Chicago, LA, people are always removing, always getting sick, passing away, and retiring. So there's always jobs. Just train them to do the damn job. And none of them jobs is that hard. They're like, poke this here, put that there, this say that, this paper say that, this the paper you send for this the paper you send for that. I work for the Treasury Department. They showed me just what to do. I was a correspondence reviewer. The correspondents come in and say, I work for the railroad. You do it like that, you put it in that basket, say railroad. I work for the FBI. You do it like this, you put it in the basket, say FBI. I work for the Secret Service. You do it, you put it in the basket. I work for the railroad. You do it, you put it in the basket, say railroad. You get the letter, you type the letter, you put the address, you send them the correspondence. We got your letter. It's on its way to the proper agency. Done. Duh. They teach you that in a week or two. They really teach you in a week, but then they watch you. They there to watch you for a week. So your trainer there for 2 weeks. You learn in like 3-4 days, and then they just there to watch you in case you ask some questions. And then they move you up. And then if you got any questions, a supervisor. You call your supervisor. Hey, how I do this again? Or like that. Oh, okay, that's right. It's a damn supervisor there at whatever level you at. It's just crazy how they want you to spend all this money to go to school for something you still got to learn how to do it. It's crazy. All these jobs you can learn on there. All these people that built these cars and all that, you went to the factory and they taught you what to do on the assembly line. I worked for a book factory. They taught me what to do on the assembly line. When they moved me up from loading the paper, the pages, and they moved me up to the book cutter, they show you what to do. You're making a whole lot of money. And they would give you a raise every year. And you made money based on your seniority. So the longer you work there, the more money you got. If you work there for 15 years, you're making bank because every year you get a guaranteed raise. You don't have to ask for it. At their office jobs, they start where you got to come in and talk about your raise and all that bullshit. But at the factory work and stuff, no. There is no talk about your raise. You get it automatically the day you start working. That next year you're going to get an increase. And every year, from the day you start working, your money go up automatically. So the OGs in there, they making $40 an hour. And this back in, you know what I'm saying? Because your seniority. Like my daddy worked for the CTA bus. And by the time I got in high school, my daddy was getting rich driving that bus. Because he used to tell me, when I started driving the bus, teachers and stuff used to look at me and try to look down on us. They don't look down on us no more. Because they gave you automatic raises. When I went to work at the stock market, they trained you, but you don't get no automatic raise. They be talking about, they tell you how much you get more a year. So like you make, I just throw a number like 26,000, they'll say, okay, Now you making 27,000. When you divide that by 52 weeks, you're like, what? They ain't give you nothing. But with the other work, no, they tell you how much more you make an hour. Okay. If you was making $10 an hour, now you're making 12 or 12.50. So you can know, okay, you can know how much you're making. In the offices was the worst job. I went and worked at the stock market and I quit and went back to the factory. I said, get the hell out of here. I went back to the factory where the real money was at. 90 days you full time. Well, when I came up, you full time the first day. WF Power Printing Company, your ass full time. You doing 8 hours in the door. Day one. You doing full time while they training. This back in the 70s. Full time from day one. Real parenting. I graduated on Saturday and Sunday. My mama said, Niecy coming to pick you up because you're gonna go down there and work with her Monday. I had one day out. Well, two. Well, really one because Saturday was graduation. Graduated Saturday, chill Sunday. My mama got me a job Monday. Now, no, do you new parents? Boy, you need to do something with yourself. When you gonna find a job? No. My mom was like, Niecy coming to get you Monday. You gonna work down there with her. My vibe was great. I didn't know that was a bad thing. I was like, ah, yes. Yeah, Monday. Graduate Saturday, start working Monday. I worked a night shift, 11:30 to 7:30 in the morning. Wasn't none of this weirdo like y'all with y'all kids. No, no. Yo, big ass grown ass son up in there smoking weed all day. He got to go to work. Hey, no, when you gonna get a job? When? No. When I was growing up, yo, outside high school, your daddy will take you to a job and walk you in there and let you apply. Ain't nobody finna beg you to go get no job. Like these new parents is weirdos. The worst parents in the history of America. Horrible. Ain't nothing. I took that same principle with my children, my grandchildren. We got no vagabonds. I ain't raised no everybody getting it. That's a fact. Everybody I've raised is getting it. We got no vagabonds. We got no gang members. We got no motherfuckers in prison. None of my sons go to jail. My daughters, they making money. Nobody's in and out of jail. Nobody's a bum. I didn't allow it. We're not doing that. We ain't doing that. you can't live up in here and you ain't going to school. Is you crazy? You can't live up in here and fail no classes. You gotta come in here with some good grades. You gotta come in here with A's and B's. You might got a C or something. We're gonna complain about that. You need to bring this C up though. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what kind of parents. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what kind of parents these is. When my son and my stepson got to Simeon, got to high school, it was like the streets up in my crib. I line their ass up in the kitchen and get in their face. I'm finna steal on them. They better not look crazy or nothing. My sons them still tease me about it. My stepson talked about it last night. He said, Pharaoh, I never forget how you was. You know what I'm saying? I used to, when they got, you know how they get too big for a spanking, I used to line them up in gangster. And I would tell them, look at me, don't flinch or nothing. Okay? If you go out in the streets and the police get you, this how you need to be. You need to be standing there. Yes, sir. You need to be paying attention. Don't say shit slick. They gonna kill your ass out here. My stepson still talk about that today. I would, I would show him what gonna happen if the police get him out there on the streets. Shut the fuck up. Don't say nothing. Get out there with the police talking slick. You be in a body bag. So I used to intimidate, like act like they outside. You know what I'm saying? They better look at me in my eye. They better not say nothing slick. I'm still on them. At least that's what I made them think. So I never had to hit them because I scared them like I would. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you got to use intimidation so you don't have to really be physical. You could be physical mentally. So I used to threaten them physically, mentally. Damn, I didn't never have to get physical. I make them think I'm finna still off on you. And they get scared. I be just like I'm finna still off with it. I don't pretend. I be just like it without having to do it. But I be just like it. I wouldn't let my child live with me if I had an extra room in the house. If they going through something, yeah, but they gotta go get the fuck out though. My son broke up with his girlfriend and came stayed at the house where I was doing lives at. Facts. In the room. After a couple of days, one morning, I said, hey, come here. And he came upstairs and the laptop was there. And I made him get on the laptop and apply for jobs. Facts. No, Moulton. I didn't let him go and just be in the room and just be there. That motherfucker had to get up and come in there in that bedroom and sit down next to me and get on that laptop and apply for jobs. My youngest son. After about 3 days, he got hired, went and got an apartment, and had a job. Facts. I let him stay there, but he got to still go find a job. He can't just stay there and don't do nothing. So when you say I can't let them be in the room, no, not like you new parents. No. Your son could be in the room smoking, having sex, and he don't got to go get no job. No. Yeah, he can come stay, but the goal is to get the fuck out. Yeah, the goal is to get your own shit. Yeah, that's the goal. So you're going through something. Yeah, I'm going to help you go through something, but you're not going to stay in that. You're not going to get in no slump and stay in that shit like you new parents. Your goddamn son is in there, then got a girl pregnant, everything, still ain't got no goddamn job. You letting him have sex in the room in the house. He bring a baby in the world, nigga still ain't got no job. Because you're the worst parents ever in the history of parenting. Could he bring a girl in there? No. He can't bring no girl in there and I'm letting you stay in the room. I don't know. You want a girl in the room? Go get you a room. Yeah. Yeah. You want to do grown man shit? You got to do the whole grown man shit, Moulton. You can't be no half a grown up. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing no half a grown up. Hell no. If you knew your son's a bum, he don't want to act like a grown up, but he want to act like a grown up. He want to do grown up stuff, but only half of the grown up stuff. He don't want to get a car. He don't want to get a job. He don't want to be that kind of grown up, but he want to smoke weed and cigarettes and have sex. He want to be half a grown up. Hell no. You call that an enabler. I ain't no enabler. I'm not going to enable my son or daughters to be bums. My job is to make them productive. So no, you cannot come and stay in no room in my house and be a bum and the room dirty. You got to clean that. That room better look the same way every day that it looked when you moved your ass in there. You're going to have to vacuum. You're going to have to sweep. You're going to have to clean. If you go downstairs to eat, you're going to have to wash your dishes. Yeah, I'm not washing your dishes. I'm not cleaning up behind you. And you're a grown ass man. And can't no woman come. A girl could come visit you down in the living room, but she can't go in that bedroom. Because with me, you want to have sex, you can only have sex in your own bed. You can't have no sex in no bed I bought. Yeah, I ain't got no problem with you having sex, but you got to have sex in your bed. You got to buy the bed. No, you can't have sex in my bed that I bought. No. If you can't buy a bed, you ain't ready to get nobody pregnant. If you can't buy a bed, are you ready to have a baby? You ready to have a baby at your daddy's house? Hell no. But my kids ain't finna come ask for that. My kids ain't no losers. My kids was not gonna move in with. They do not want to move in with me. You can't even stay with me no long time. You gotta get a job. I ain't raising no bitch niggas. I'm raising men. You cannot live with me. This is temporary. Period. Now, if I got a two flat or something, you can live downstairs. You gotta pay your shit though. If I got like two apartments, you can live in the, but you gotta pay though. You can't live there free. Hell no. You gotta go work. You gotta take care of yourself. What you gonna do if I'm not here? What's the worst age of parenting? Now, it started going downhill a little bit in the 80s. It wasn't too bad. But now, this group is the worst parents ever. 2000, from 2000 on, or really 1990, from 1990 on. Yep, the 90s. That's why all these gangs. That's why all this gang stuff. 1990s on. The crack era wasn't as bad as everybody said it was. They overhyped that. But the crack era was the 90s. So that's the era I'm talking about. The crack era was the 90s. Think about it. When I came from Hawaii in the late 80s, the crack era was just starting in 89, like that. When I left LA, wasn't no crack. And by the time I got to Chicago in the 90s, that's when the crack era was at the peak. 1990, 91, 92, that's the peak of the crack era, for sure. The late 70s was the freebase. The 80s was PCP. Early 80s was PCP. Angel Dust. Angel Dust. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this is the 90s, 2000s, that's the worst parents because the men, you know, the weakest men you ever seen in your life. It's so bad now. The men is fat, came around the block. Nigga ain't number 35 years old. About 35 years old, a big old stomach, sitting around on the couch. About, man, the Packers, man, the Bears, man, the Packers, man, the Cowboys. So worst men ever. They all on motherfucker. They can't get hard. They taking all kind of pills. You know what I'm saying? They gotta take pills to have sex and shit. They ain't got no testosterone. They got titties and shit. And big old stomachs. Pitiful. They fly to poor countries to have sex with foreign women that got all kind of diseases. If I don't be no woman in America, I go down to the islands. And if you don't know them girls ugly as hell. Somebody go to Dominican Republic, man, them the ugliest bitches in them bitches ugly. Go down there and look at them. Big stomachs and shit. They got on spandex and shit to try to hide it. If you think I'm lying, go watch a video on Dominican. And you see, and it's gonna be a fine ass woman for the cover for the video. But when you click the video, you ain't gonna see that bitch nowhere in the video. You're gonna see a bunch of toe up assholes. Am I lying? I watch the videos. Cause I'm like, I see these fine women with these big old booties on the video picture. So I said, well, let me click and see. Then when you click, it'd be like a bunch of fat, like Mexican looking. They look like Mexicans, but they ain't. They some other type of South America. They be looking tore up like they just eat burritos all day. They all got stomachs and shit and spandex. They done pulled all that shit in. Am I lying? That's the question. Am I lying though? Am I lying? Do the women in the video look anything like the picture to advertise the video? No. And they be toe up. They be toe up hoes. If you're a player, you know hoes when you see one. Them be some raggedy hoes. They be raggedy hoes. It's where loser dudes go, because that's fine to a chubby, beer belly Lou weirdo. Yeah, she fine. Because your ass toe up. You gonna come back, man, the women in Dominica, man. I'm like, yeah, you toe up. How you gonna tell me? You get the toe up bit. The men look and what the men be looking like down there. Toe up. They don't be fit. They don't work out. It be these weirdo. It be weirdo dudes, losers. Every man you see down there walk around be a loser or be one of them pimps or gangsters from down there watching them women. You could see the men like they'll show boardwalk, and you could see the men that's patrolling that whole strip. And it be men there that they don't act like them women is fine at all. Like you ever look at the reaction of the men that live there? The men that live there do not act like them women is fine. And it be some weirdo American dude walking with his camera behind them, right? Trying to find one that look halfway decent, and they be look toe up. Every woman they show be tore up. Watch, let me watch this. Hold on. This the videos. Y'all know I'm the realest alive. Ain't nobody can't ever say I'm lying. This how the videos be. South Soul. This how the videos be. You see these women in the bottom video? Click on the video. Click on the video and see if you see this one in the picture. Look, this is what you're going to see when you click on it. See how it's moving? Look, raggedy, toe up. Look, look, look. Somebody going out the street with a camera, right? Look, look, look. Ain't a fine woman yet. What? And then they're gonna pass some chubby chicks. You know what I'm saying? I didn't look at it. I watch everything, so I know what I'm talking about. Then they're gonna pass like 3 chubby, toe up chicks walking, and they'll try to act like they fine. You know what I'm saying? But if you got pimp blood, if you're a player, you're gonna know they toe up. You know what I'm saying? They be some toe up chicks. I wouldn't holler at them. They be toe up. There don't be no dime pieces like that. They be toe up. Because like what? 75% of women today got refrigerator bodies. You know, they look like burritos and potato chips. Now, what they look like, they sit around all day eating burritos, potato chips, and candy. 75% of the women in society today then squirrels into an outfit to try to have a shape. That's a fact. This food, eating this bad food. They all shaped like refrigerators with spandex on. You know what I'm saying? And today, this is facts. That's why the ones that is fine get on videos because they the only ones that's fine. They the only ones fine. That's why they're in the videos. Why you think certain women's in the rap videos? Because they're the only ones look like that. Go to Miami. If you go to Miami Beach, the only fine women you're going to see is professional models. That's it. All the rest of them is tore up from the floor and make you want to throw up. And then squares down in some outfits because they got this shape shifting outfits. You know what I'm saying? I seen one lady the other day. She just was straight with it. She was fat and she was sloppy. She was cute too. Beautiful face, beautiful. But she was sloppy everywhere. And she actually showed all of that stuff hanging out. And then she put on that shape thing. And said, now look how it looked. I said, yeah, okay. She put on the shape thing. Let me see. I hate to do it dirty, but let me see if I deleted my history. I'm going to show you who it is. I said, girl, your ass is toe up. And she was like, I know I tore up, but look how I look now when I put on my detourifier. You know, she had a detourifier that she can put on so she don't look so toe up. Oh, I deleted it. She had on something to put on to make her don't be toe up. I deleted it. And she said, look at me. See, I'm toe up and make you want to throw up. Now watch this. See, now you just want to throw up, but I ain't so toe up. She actually did it. She actually showed all that fat and stuff and put it in that thing. I said, man, they hard up for views. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I said, what the hell? I don't know, man. I ain't gonna judge a woman like that. I ain't gonna judge a woman, bro. Like that. I can tell you this. Uh if she young, you might got a baddie, but a couple other people might got it too. I can tell you that part. I can tell you she might be a swap old robber. I'm just saying nowadays, you know, ain't no telling what happens when you go to work. Somebody, you know that? Somebody might be knocking it back when you ain't looking. I'm just saying. Chris Brown done told you. These ain't loyal. Hey, hey, hey. These ain't loyal. He done told you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, what's up? G-Rock. Because they going to do something strange for a little bit of change. She definitely going to flash some money on her. She going to go make that move. Not your woman necessarily, but most of them. They ain't loyal like that no more. You know, fine, you know, sometimes fine. When I think about the Michigan coach, the Trinidadian dude, uh, a lot of women, a lot of men is like this. They think when they say, "Look at my woman," she's gonna be light skinned. First thing, she's gonna be light skinned. So the black man today is totally brainwashed. So beautiful is blonde looking white woman's hair, right? And light skin, like a make believe white woman. So the young brothers today believe the finest women is high yellow and as close to a white woman as possible. So when they get a chance to actually be with a real white woman, oh, they gone. Because the black man today believe that light skin and blonde hair and straight hair is beautiful. So when a dude say, "Look at my woman, she beautiful," I guarantee she got straight hair. I guarantee you she's a make believe Asian or make believe white woman. I don't know. So for that coach in Michigan, when he got a chance to be with a real one instead of the black woman trying to look like one, he thought he was in heaven. Because the black man wants a white woman. He don't want no black woman. He wants her to be light as possible and have straight hair. And black people don't have straight hair. Black people got kinky hair. So but he ain't no different than some of you other brothers. Some of you other brothers, women and mamas and sisters look just like the white lady. Y'all got the same sickness. Y'all got the same sickness. His wife might be white too. Yeah, but y'all got the same sickness. The white is better. That's why the Asians do your woman's toes and feet, and that's why she get her hair like that. The most beautiful woman is the one that ain't black. I seen a sister have dreadlocks. Who was that brother? And he said, "You would be real beautiful. Put that hair up in a bun." I said, "Listen to this nigga." He said she can't have her dreads hanging down. He said, "Put their hair up in a bun." I forgot what brother said. I said, "Listen to this cool." He said, "If she put her hair up in a bun, look, the black woman do some good hair. What's good hair? The hair like white people? Because the best hair is done by God, naturally. God already made you with good hair. What you mean, do hair? So that's a European concept. And when a black woman do her hair, by the time she get 50, she ain't got none because she did it. But what she doing to do it is tearing it out. The black woman ain't got no goddamn hair. The Bible said in the last day she gonna have scabs in her head. The daughter of Zion. She gonna have swords and scabs in her head. The black woman ain't got no goddamn hair. She bald headed. She got shit sewed on now. She ain't got no hair. Weave. They buying weave. So videos of dudes representing different cities been debating on this whole checking in deal and how you better check in if you step foot in their city, regardless of something bad happening to you. Checking in. Checking in is bullshit. That's a bunch of bullshit. I don't believe that shit, G-Rock. If I go to Cali, who I check in with? Because if I go check in with the Crips, they ain't gonna protect me from the Bloods. If I check in Inglewood, that ain't gonna have nothing to do with Pasadena. Ain't no nigga run the whole city. So how a nigga gonna protect me in LA when a nigga barely run his little area? My thing, if I come to your city and I don't check in and you run up, you gonna check into the morgue. We're gonna check your ass into the hospital. Fuck is you talk about? Nigga, I ain't checking in shit. Fuck you mean check in? Bitch, you don't run shit. You don't even run your goddamn city. You ain't paying. You don't. You paying taxes to you. Everybody else run your city. Black man don't run a goddamn thing, but his mouth, nigga. I ain't checking his shit. I check my weapon in case you run your dumb ass up, because you could get shot in your city. Fuck is you talking about? You get killed in your city. They can't. How they gonna extort you? They don't run nothing. That's fake internet shit. There's no how you gonna check in Chicago? Where you gonna check in Chicago? If you check in on 100, some niggas on 116th, they could protect you from niggas on 95th. Tell me who you could check in Chicago that could protect you in this whole city. There is nobody that I could check in LA that could protect me in the whole city of LA. I lived in LA. LA is huge. A nigga over here ain't got no clout over there. All the Crips don't even get along. You can only, if you a certain type of rolling 60, you might can protect me in the 60s turf, barely. My theory is have gun, will travel. That's my theory. Nigga, fuck you. First off, a boss like me, I ain't even going where you bum niggas be at anyway. Second off, anywhere you go with watches and shit on your ass getting robbed. So you can't check in when you a fool riding around in a really, really expensive car with a whole bunch of diamonds and shit on. When you go somewhere, tone that shit down. Don't rent no expensive car. Rent a regular car or a regular van. You know what I'm saying? You understand? But check in is internet. They know people on internet don't know no better. They ain't been to LA. LA huge. So what? I'm driving. I didn't check in. I'm driving my car. When I get to a red light, what? You just gonna run up to my car with my windows up and do something? Because in LA, it's known they got people at the airport, and when you come through the airport, they got people that'll follow you at the airport and be like, "Oh, a dude just came in. His wife got bags and shit. He in this car, this number," and they'll follow you from the airport and set you up. But those just robberies. Where people trying to flash around poor people. So anytime you try to flash around poor people, bad things gonna happen. Now, if you wanna be PNB Rock and you wanna go to chicken and waffle place with millions of dollars worth of jewelry on, there ain't no checking in the world gonna save you. Why would I want money when your jewelry worth more than the money? I want the jewelry. Why would I take a couple of dollars when I could just take everything? Boy, shut up. Eat your chicken waffles. Give me them chains off your neck. Check them chains in. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So that's all bullshit. If you go somewhere and you're going on a trip, you're supposed to be going to nice places. You ain't supposed to be going to no hood anywhere. What the fuck you going to the hood for? And you're supposed to move incognito. You ain't supposed to move so everybody can see you. You ain't supposed to go there and drive around in the most expensive car. You're supposed to drive around in a regular sprinter van. Regular, you're supposed to be regular. Unless you got armed security. So if you want to wear really expensive watches and your woman want to carry $300,000 purses, then y'all need to have guns. Other than that, take that shit off and go have a good time. Stop flossing. Ain't nobody gonna pay you no attention unless you flossing. Nipsey's situation was different. He know him and dude was beefing. He knew dude was beeping when he walked up, and he just sat his ass out there. I don't know why. Everybody don't know the real story on Nip. Nip knew him and dude was beeping. Knew it was up. Knew it was up. And he was out there trying to be a gangster instead of going inside where the straps was at. And he had people around him that's running around making a lot of noise now that ended up with a certain amount of money after it was done. There's a certain individual now that look like they got some money from somewhere that all of a sudden didn't see nothing, didn't hear nothing. I'm just saying, on the internet running his crackhead mouth, but looked like he was in on it. To me, to me, everybody knew what the deal was. If you only got it. Listen, the check-in places ain't places nobody want to go. If you go downtown on Michigan Avenue, who you got to check in with to walk on Michigan Avenue when none of them niggas don't run Michigan Avenue? So you're supposed to be going to the city to go to nice stuff. You ain't supposed to be going to the city to go to the hood. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to LA to go to no chicken and waffles in the whole, and plus the idea of checking in, they done messed up. That's not what checking in is. Checking in is coming to the city, calling me, said, bro, I want to go to chicken and waffles over here. And I say, no, don't go to that one, bro. Go to this one. So they not even telling y'all, Reggie, the real meaning of checking in. That's not checking in. Checking in is contact somebody to tell you where to go and where not to go, not security. That's not checking in. Checking in is saying, Pharaoh, I'm coming to Chicago. I give you my phone number. You get here and you say, I want to go over here. I said, no, don't go to that one. Go to this one. Go over there. Take your wife here. Take your wife there. That's the real meaning of checking in. To send you to the best pizza place. To tell you, if you go to this pizza place, make sure you lock your car doors, right? Don't wear nothing fancy. They got the best pizza. Take all your watches and shit off. Go in there looking like just a regular person and get your pizza. If you want the best pizza. But the best pizza is in this neighborhood. This is not where you want to look flashy. That's checking in. I'm going to send you to Italian Fest on 71st, but you can't go over there looking flashy because you're going in a neighborhood where there's broke people. So go over there regular. Leave your watches and shit at the safe at the hotel or hide them in the trunk of the car and just get out looking like just a regular working person. No, nothing that looks like somebody gonna rob you. When I go outside, I already know where my gold. I wear a lot of silver. I'm not wearing this when I go running around Chicago. I don't have this earring on. I don't have nothing like that on. Because no, this is not gold, but this attract attention. You don't want to be attracted eyeballs on you. So anything that's gonna get eyeballs on you, you take it off. This is not, some of this is gold, some not, but this catch too many eyeballs. Real hood information. They say, well, what? You could be strapped. No, this also catch the police eyeballs. It's gonna catch everybody eyeballs, including the police. Do I want the police looking at me? No. It's gonna catch a lot of eyeballs. You don't want nobody looking at you. You just want to be another person. You don't want to be that person. You just want to be another person. If you see me with a mink coat on and jewelry, I got jewelry to match. If I got on white gold, I got chrome. I got some chrome to match it. And I'm really with the bullshit. And I'm ready to put some jewelry. You're going to leave with some jewelry in you. I got jewelry for you. I got you some jewelry. I got some shiny stuff for you. I'm on bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, mm-mm. If I'm dressed up, I'm dressed up. I call it matching jewelry. I have matching jewelry. Other than that, I dress down. Anybody ever seen me on my live when I'm walking to the post office and shit? I don't be looking like nothing. I don't believe in looking good for no reason. I don't believe walking around looking good. I ain't trying to talk to no women. I ain't what the fuck I'm dressed up for. So I don't believe in dressed up just looking good just for the hell of it for my self-esteem. I don't believe in that. That's whack shit. That's nut shit. Every day you getting up putting on all this shit. You ain't even going nowhere. I believe I'm like white dudes. They jewelry in a safe and they only put that on their wife when they really going somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, I'm not trying to walk around and get nobody. I don't want nobody looking at me. I'm not trying to walk around a bunch of people ain't got nothing with something. I'm not trying to go around. It's 9 bears over here hungry. I'm not trying to go with no hamburgers around my neck. I'm not trying to go around no bears with food. This is common sense. I don't want to be seen. And so if I'm at Whole Foods, I don't got nothing on fancy. If I see a lady, I'm trying to holler at me, and she don't want to holler at me because I'm not really dressed up. I don't want her anyway. I don't want her. I don't want her. I want a woman that would give me a number, and then when I take on a date, now I'm dressed up. Nobody safe in L.A. Man, you safe wherever. You safe in L.A. Don't try to listen to that shit. It's a million people in L.A. and ain't nobody doing nothing to them. That's all bullshit. Ain't nobody gonna do shit to you in L.A. unless you out stunting. Or Chicago. Ain't nobody just riding around doing stuff to people. It's all bullshit. Don't y'all believe that shit? There's no the bad guys is not just all over the place. You know what I'm saying? That's like fake. The bad guys ain't just out all over the place like that. If you go to LA, most of the bad guys is in the county jail and prison. That's where they ass is at or house arrest. The bad guys is dead and locked up. That's where they ass is at. Facts. And most of the people you're gonna see in LA is working people. People gotta go to work. So all them people in LA got homes, they ain't got no jobs. They all just gang members. Who how they paying their mortgage? How they paying their rent? How they paying their car note? If they all just running around, they all just Crips and Blood. It ain't about looking good. It's about not catching no attention. You don't want nobody pay you no attention. That's just life. You don't want attention. You understand? Okay, let's say I'm dressed up and I'm looking good and I go out, right? And 20 women see me, I look good. I ain't gonna get to fuck them all, right? Okay then. So what I do all that for? What I do all that for? And then if you're a real G, you don't want them anyway. If you're a real G, you got a woman already, right? So if you got a woman already, what the hell you want all these women Google eyeing at you for? You already married. So some dude that's already got a fine woman that's walking around trying to get fine women to look at him is a weirdo anyway. You understand? Any man that's got him a queen already, that's walking around like a peacock trying to attract women, is a loser anyway. Why you trying to attract a bunch of women you can't even do nothing with? You know what I'm saying? If you get her pregnant, you ain't gonna be able to take care of the baby. So at what point are you just not doing what you gotta do where you just always want everybody to see you? You know what I'm saying? Like you always want somebody to see you all the time. So you mean when I leave out of here, I gotta dress for everybody to see me, to go to Target, to go to Walgreens, to go to Whole Foods. I need to dress up to go to Whole Foods to get some tofu and shit and some Brussels sprouts and shit. See what I'm saying? Make it make some sense. How many days are you really going somewhere important? You going to work, you going to the grocery store, you going to the gas station. Typically, you ain't going nowhere. If you're on the block, you definitely ain't dressed up. Where you going? When your woman leave out the house to go to the store and run around, you do not want her to attract too much attention. You want her to tone it down because if she put on a bunch of earrings and watches and shit, she gonna get robbed. And you want her to go do what she gotta do and come back. You don't want her to be out. Look, everybody, come stick me out. So people get unalive for fake jewelry all the time. You got a fake watch on, a bunch of fake chains on, but the crook don't know that. He unalive you, take your stuff, go to the pawn shop. The pawn shop told him this ain't no good. Because these dudes is uneducated. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, I ain't gonna speak on dude because mental issues is another story. You know what I'm saying? So mental issues is another story. I'm just telling y'all about the check-in thing. First off, I give it to you real. First off, criminal hours ain't till 4 p.m., but typically more around 7. So the worst of the worst is really getting busy around 7 o'clock in the evening to about 2:30 in the morning. They ain't outside because criminals know you don't want to be outside when the police change shifts. You don't want to be out there because you going to jail right before they get off their shift and right when they start a new shift. We ain't on dummy till about 7:30 p.m. The Dracula hour is 9, 10, 11, 12, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning. That's the Dracula. That's when we out biting people. Then we got to get in before the police get ready to change shifts. We ain't out there at 3, 4 in the morning. You're going to jail. You're going under the jail. And because we gangsters and bad boys, why our asses sleep in the morning. And our morning might not end till about 1 p.m. because we vampires. So we ain't even out there like that early. So if it ain't around, evening time now, you might catch the early vampires, 3 in the evening, somewhere in there like that. If you go to Chicken and Waffle with $1 billion worth of jewelry on their neck. So how about when the Migos did check in? Don't make no sense. What do you mean check in? They was at a dice game. Keyshawn, I thought you knew the streets. You don't talk like you know street do because they was at a dice game. And the dice game was set up already. So you don't make no sense. You ain't making no sense, Keyshawn. I don't how you bringing up a private dice game with a bunch of jury on gambling and basketball because remember they was arguing over the basketball game and the dice game where they had took due money with the dirty dice. The same way they did the brother from Chicago, but the only difference is they got the dice mixed up and the brother ended up with the dirty dice and took all their money. You talking to Big Pharaoh that can tell you everything about Duke the Jeweler too. So don't come over here trying to fool these people, Keyshawn, and feed them false information. That was a setup. That had nothing to do with checking in. Going and playing dice with some gangsters is not checking in. Going and playing dice with some gangsters is putting yourself in the middle of the danger. That's not checking in. Look what he said. So how about when the Migos checked in? That's not checking in, bro. Why you lying to these people? Y'all believe going and playing dice with some gangsters is checking in? With a whole bunch of money on your neck and shit? That's not checking in. That's playing dice. That's going around. Listen, that's not checking in. Going around criminals playing dice is not checking in. That's not checking in. Where the hell is that checking in at? So you could come into Chicago and go on a dice game on the west side, Keyshawn, you call that checking in? Where you from, Keyshawn? That's checking in? Y'all don't be listening to these fake people trying to talk like they outside. Keyshawn not outside like that. You can tell he not outside. He not outside. He faking. That boy not outside. Keyshawn, you ain't outside like that. If you was outside, you wouldn't even said that. Boy, you're not outside like Big Pharaoh. Big Pharaoh really be outside. It ain't no way you shooting dice with the crime family. That's not checking in. That's called setting yourself up. That's called walking into, you know what I'm saying? Listen, if he would have checked in, he wouldn't have been with Jay Prince's sons. Because as soon as you tell me you're going to be with Jay Prince's sons and Jay Prince ain't there, and you with his weirdo son, the tall weirdo one, you going to hang out with Junior? Y'all believe they checked in and they decided to hang out with Junior? I guess. I don't know what's that's checking in. Come on, bro. Who the hell you checked in with Junior? Oh my God. Imagine checking in with the crook. That's hilarious. I know some dudes here in Chicago that if you checked in with them, it would be hilarious. You checked out with Big Momo in there? How did it work out? I got robbed. Duh. You checked in with the crook. You know what I'm saying? Checking in. This shit is funny, you know. Checking in is checking with somebody to tell you don't hang with Junior. Look at everybody to say check in. Big U, crook, arrested for unalive. Jay Prince, Look at the people saying check in. These are people that's gonna check you out. So how's that checking in with the people that's gonna do something to you? That's why I told you they misusing the word checking in. What Keyshawn tell you, that's not checking in. What the streets is trying to tell y'all is checking in is not. What the Prince family said checking in, that's not checking in. Checking in is calling a family member of somebody that live in the city that tell you where to go and where not to go. Checking in is not protection. That's a lie that they telling people that's not in the streets. Checking in is calling you because you live in Miami, say, I'm coming to Miami. And you say, all right, Pharaoh, checking in, and you're going to say, don't go here, don't go there, watch these people, don't go to this club. People always getting beat up in this club. That's checking in. Checking in is not security. Keyshawn don't know what he's talking about. It's not, checking in is not protection. Checking in is getting information from somebody that tell you where to go and where not to go. That is the original term for checking in. Okay? It had everything to do with gambling. You don't know what you're talking about, Keyshawn. Had everything to do with gambling. There's no way you checking in and you're going to do any gambling. Because when you check in, we're going to tell you don't gamble. You're not going to bet on no basketball game. Because Keyshawn know what you're talking about. Because they was arguing over losing money gambling. Okay? What is it? Take off, Offset, and what's the other one that? He was the one doing all the arguing over losing his money. If you're checking in, you're not gambling. What's the other one that was doing all the arguing? Wasn't he arguing over losing his money? That's what the shooting was over. The shooting was over gambling. Keisha don't know what the hell he's talking about. The shooting was over hanging out with scumbag Quavo. They had cheated Quavo out of his money. That's why he was mad. That's not checking in. If they checked in, they never would have been with the Prince family. They never would have been gambling. Don't listen to Keyshawn. Keyshawn's not that. He not outside. He a baby. The crooks took the word checking in and made it extortion. That's not checking in. They changed the meaning of checking in, Big U and them, and turned checking in into extortion. That like, Pharaoh, you come, you gotta pay us. You're not checking in, it's extortion. They call it extortion checking in. That's not checking in. Wack could tell you, Wack talked about it. Wack say that's not checking in. That is not checking in. Checking in is information on where to go and where not to go. Checking in is not paying for protection. Because if you go to check in to somebody you paying protection, you're walking into trouble. Checking in is to keep you out of trouble. So how is going to see Big U checking in? That's not checking in. Checking in is calling, and we tell you to stay away from the rolling 60s. We tell you don't go around Big U and them. They be over here. It's the real checking in. Keyshawn don't know what he talking about. Checking in is not coming to Chicago, hooking up with no GDs telling you that's extortion. Facts. They took checking in and started calling extortion checking in. I'm telling y'all the original checking in. The original checking in is calling somebody from the city to tell you where to eat, where to go. Like they say, the boy that got robbed of his jewelry at the Chicken and Waffle, they said if he would have called somebody and checked in, they would have told him, don't go to that Chicken and Waffle. That's what checking in. He went to the one where everybody get robbed at. Checking in is talking to somebody to tell you the safe one to go to. It's not protection. Checking in is you come to Chicago and you call me. And you say, I'm coming to Chicago. When you get to Chicago, you're going to call me when you get here. You're going to say, me and my wife out, we finna go to get something to eat. I'm going to say, where y'all going? You're going to say, I'm going here. I'm going to say, don't go there. Go to this. You're going to say, we downtown, we going to eat. I ain't going to say nothing. You safe. But you're going to say, well, I want to get, everybody say Italian Fiesta is the best. I'm going to say, okay, the best Italian Fiesta is on 71st Street. Dress down. Order it for pickup. Order it before you get there. Just wear some regular clothes and stuff. Don't have on, you can have on your little wedding band if it ain't got no bunch of diamonds in it. And you get out the car, go in there and get the pizza. When you get the pizza, you get the car, get the fuck out that area. Go here and eat the pizza. Don't eat it on 71st and Jeffrey. That's checking in. It's calling me so I can tell you where not to go. Checking in is not security. That's extortion. That's why I say Keyshawn don't know what he's talking about. Checking in is calling to get information. Keyshawn don't know what he's talking about, okay? He does not. Don't listen to him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's not built like that. He not no dude be outside. He a young dude, don't know nothing. Don't listen to him. He don't know what he's talking about. People like Big U, when Big U say you better check in, he meant you better come and pay. He was not talking about the real checking in. He wasn't using the real checking in. He was using the word as for extortion. That's why I keep trying to tell Keyshawn. Big U was not talking about checking in. He was talking about you better come pay us. That's not checking in. Ain't no disagree. You don't know what you're talking about. No, I'm not going to agree with you, Keyshawn. You don't know what you're talking about at all. There was 2 check-ins, and people started using check-in for extortion. And that's the check-in you talk about, Keyshawn. You're not talking about the real check-in. The real check-in is to call somebody to get an update what's been going on in the city. That's the original real check-in. They took check-in and made it extortion. That's what I'm trying to tell Keyshawn. He don't want to listen. He a baby. I'm 67 years old. I lived in Los Angeles. The original term check-in means to find out what's going on in the city. That's all. It does not mean to actually check in with somebody to be safe. That's why he keeps saying, so-and-so checked in, but he got hurt, because check in don't mean protect you. Keyshawn using check in like it's protection. He don't know what the hell he's talking about. Don't listen to Keyshawn. Keyshawn don't know what the hell he talk about. Keyshawn talk about using the word check-in as extortion. Checking in is to find out what's going on. It's like I'm finna go to Hawaii. I find out who out there live. I get their number. I say, hey man, I'm coming to island. I'm coming to your island. What's going on? They say, oh yeah, come on over. But wear a mask. Because it's like some kind of flu going on out here. Like that. That's checking in. Make sure you wear a mask. Make sure you bring gloves. Like you're finna go to Jamaica and you call something coming. They say, oh, we got this outbreak in Jamaica right now. Because that's checking in to find out what to do and what not to do when you get there. Not protection. Keyshawn is not outside. He not no OG. He don't know nothing. I'm telling you the original check-in, not the extortion check-in. They took the word and used it for something else. For extortion, they mean pay us for protection. That's not checking in. That's extortion. So Big U and them was using the word check in as extortion. That's not checking in. Checking in is to find out everything what's going on, not just crime. Checking in is you call and say, I'm going to the Bears game. I say, well, when you go to the Bears game, they're going to charge you $30 to park over here. But if you park over there, it's only $7. That's checking in to give you the 411 on how to save money, where the best place to go. They're going to beat you out if you park here. So you checking in so I can tell you, no, you shouldn't have parked there. You should have parked over here and walked. That's checking in to get the information. You're supposed to check in so you can find out how not to get cheated and where to go and where not to go. Checking in is not protection. That's why he said Nipsey should have checked it. That has nothing to do with protection. So you know he don't know what the hell he's talking about, because how is Nipsey going to check in where he live at? You don't check in where you live at. Checking in is for out-of-towners. So you can see where a brother just saying anything. How is somebody living in L.A. going to check in and they live in L.A.? Checking in is finding out what's going on in a place where you don't live or in an area where you don't be at. And it's really for deals and stuff like that, like for the best place to park, the best place to eat. I'm going to Oakland, I check in, they say, don't park your car over there. They busting everybody's window. That type of stuff. You understand? Let you know where not to park. Okay, so let's give example. Let's say G-Rock called me and say, Pharaoh, I'm coming to Chicago. Checking in with me, be telling them, G-Rock, when you park your car, read the signs. Because if it's a snow route, as soon as they get a certain time, they tow in your car. For example, my daughter and her boyfriend came here. We was eating at the Ethiopian restaurant. When Pazzi came here, we was eating at the Ethiopian restaurant. When we got through eating, Pazzi went to get his car, and his car was towed because he parked in a parking lot that say free parking, but you have to be a customer in the businesses, and the businesses was closed, and they towed his car. So when I went to the same Ethiopian restaurant the other day with my daughter and her man, the first thing I asked him is, where did you park? He said that same parking lot. I said, go get your car, and hopefully it ain't gone already. Luckily for him, he went and got his car and moved it. That would have been checking in. So if he would have called me and say, I want to go to eat. I say, go at that Ethiopian restaurant. Checking in would have been me telling them on the phone, but don't park in the store parking lot, park on the street at the parking meters. That's checking in to make sure you don't park nowhere and get towed, to make sure you don't be nowhere where they busting all the windows out the car, to make sure you don't go in a place that's got a bunch of robberies happen to be going on. That's checking in, just information. It's not protection. When somebody tell you to check in on protection, this is what I'm trying to tell Keyshawn, can't nobody protect you. And they selling you a fake, they extorting you, and Big U cannot protect you in LA. Because there's a place in LA, if Big U go, they'll pop him. So y'all believe if I'm a Blackstone, I'm a big-time Blackstone in Chicago, I can protect you if you go in the GD turf where they'll shoot me? Who believe that any Crip in LA could protect you when the Crips is won? Because the Rolling 60 is beefing with everybody. So how's the Rolling 60 Crip going to protect you when the Rolling 60 Crip is in danger every day? You understand what I'm telling you? But a Rolling 60 Crip can tell you where to park if you go to the Lakers game, can tell you where they breaking in cars and shit like that. That's the real checking in. The other checking in is extortion and it's false. Because can't nobody protect you. Because ain't nobody safe. So in a city where ain't nobody safe and anything happen to anybody, how the fuck somebody gonna protect you? How the hell can I protect you in Chicago? Big ass Chicago is. So how can you check in and not protect you over the whole Chicago? That's not checking in. Checking in is me giving you information for you to stay as safe as possible. This is what I'm trying to tell Keisha. I don't want to listen. The other was extortion. Can't nobody protect you. How I'm gonna protect you? I could try to give you the best things to do to protect yourself the best you can. I could stop you from going in absolute danger, but danger could be anywhere. But I could stop you from going where, yeah, they definitely busting everybody's car windows over there. Don't go over there. That's checking in. Checking in is you want some jerk chicken. And I say, the best jerk chicken is here. I'm a vegan. I don't know. I'm like, let me call you back. I'm going to call some people. Hey, who got the best jerk chicken? They're going to say, these got the best jerk chicken. I'm going to call you back. Okay, the best jerk chicken over there. I'm like, hold on. I'm going to call them back. Is it safe over there? It's kind of wild over there, Pharaoh. Tell them to go to the one on so-and-so. I'll be like, they say they got the best chicken on 71st, but they say they kind of wild over there. They say go to one on 55th. That's checking in. Checking in is not calling me and I'm going to make you safe. Like, get the hell out of here. I ain't safe. The only people safe in Chicago is people that got their gun on them. And then if they don't get it out quick enough, they ain't safe. If you can't get it out fast, you ain't safe. They took it and they used it for extortion. And so now people think that's checking in. That's not checking in. And you can check in when you get there. So you go to Hawaii, you meet some Hawaiians you know, and you tell them where the best place to go, where they breaking in tourist cars at, stuff. That's checking in. With somebody in the area, you ask them, what's what, what's this, what's there, what's this, who got the best food, what spot's dangerous. That's checking in. Checking in is not calling somebody and checking in with them so you'll be safe. Who believe? Do that even make any sense? Does that make any sense? Because if anybody trying to tell you that they can make sure you're safe in Chicago, that got to be the criminal, ain't it? What honest citizen would make you think they can make you safe? So you calling the scumbag. So if you call a dude in Chicago that say checking with him for you to be safe, is he a good guy, or is he most likely the guy that'll do something to you? These the people gonna do something to you. Because everybody that checked in with Big U got robbed and extorted. When you call a check-in dude, listen, let me tell you something. You get locked up. You go to the county jail. A dude come to you and say, you holler at me, I could keep you safe in here. Shh. You know who you just talked to? I go to prison. Been there a couple of days. I got me a shank. After a week or two, you come to me and you say, you need to holler at me. I can keep you safe in here. That's the bad guy. Listen, that's the guy that's going to set you up to get raped. That's going to steal everything out. That's the bad guy. How he going to protect you? He's setting you up to do everything he's telling you he's going to protect you from. Young brothers, y'all better listen to me. Whatever somebody offer you in the penitentiary to protect you from is the one that's going to do it. When he come and tell you this could happen to you, that he's telling you about him. He's saying, I could do all this to you. Pay me. But you're going to have to keep paying them. It's going to turn to extortion. Once you pay the person to check in, you know what you are to them? When somebody tell me to check in, that's a threat. That's the criminal. Basically telling me to pay him to keep him off of me. Who is he talking about going to do something to you? That's the part. That's not checking in. That's extortion. Because they sure going to take you everything you got. They're going to check you in, all right. They're going to check you in. They're going to check you in. They're going to check you out, too. That's it. They're going to check you. They're going to check you in, all right. They're going to check you in, and they're going to check your ass out. I remember when I was in the county jail, a dude came and say, hey, man, they might try to take your tennis shoes. Let me keep them for you. I swear to God. Don't y'all be checking in. Only ones you check. First, can't nobody protect you in no big ass city. Y'all believe somebody could protect you in New York, LA, Chicago, Houston? Bruh. Can't nobody protect you in no big ass city. Everybody got enemies. How are they gonna protect you when there's certain places they can't even go? Big, you can't just go anywhere in LA. They air his ass out. Y'all think Big you could go anywhere in LA? Hell no. Big you can't protect you from no pyrus or no bloods. He can't go in the blood turf like that. These streets is violent. Y'all got to learn how to avoid violence and avoid trouble. Checking in is keeping you away from the violent situation. That's what checking in is. Not just that, it's telling you where to park, which hotel is the best, which hotel downtown is close to everything, which hotel got the best stuff already in the hotel. It's like stuff like that. Yeah, under Rapalot protection and gambling with them. Gambling with people that got fixed dice that's robbing everybody. And that's slow as hell. How they gonna protect you when they dumb as hell? Rapalot dumb. Jay Prince Jr.'s a dumbass. Listen, Jay Prince Jr. them is so dumb that they tried to fix the dice game. They had some dice. They had some crooked dice. They messed around and let Duke the Jeweler got the got the fixed dice and won everybody money. They let I swear to God, this is word on the street. This how Duke this what really happened on the street, they saying. That they had some loaded dice. And they up in there drinking and everything and let the victim get the loaded dice. So Duke the Jeweler ended up with the loaded dice and took everybody money. This the word on the street. So that's why they had to set him up and unalive him and rob him. Because they let the loaded dice get in the person they were supposed to use. Real talk. I swear to God, this is a word on the street. You can look at Jay Prince Jr., see he's dumb. His daddy trying to make a gangster out of somebody built like that. Sometimes you're in the gangster world, you try to put your son in it, but your son ain't built like that. Word on the street is they had some loaded dice. They got mixed up and got the dice mixed up, and the person they was trying to cheat ended up with the loaded dice and broke everybody, took everybody's money and left, including Bootsy. Well, I can't tell y'all everything I know. You know how big my channel would be if I did that type of content? If I told y'all everything? I should open up another channel called Pharaoh Tells It All. You know what I'm saying? That Pharaoh said that. Pharaoh told that shit. I should open up Pharaoh told that. It'll pop. I know a lot of shit I don't say. But that's what allegedly happened. The loaded dice end up in the hands of the one they planned to cheat. And he took everybody's money. Stupid Jay Prince, all right? Stupid Jay Prince Jr. let the loaded dice get in Duke the Jeweler's hand. And he took all their money. And you look at the video, they showing allegedly Boosie throwing symbols up, like whistle. It was signaling people. The feds probably gonna come get Boosie for that. They probably gonna lock him up for this case and then get him for the other case. Quiet as his cow. They might have went after him for this case just to hold him till they finished the Duke the Jeweler chase. Some people saying Boosie going to prison for the unaliving of Duke the Jeweler. He was the one standing next to Duke when that shit happened. This is what they saying. Yep, the wrong dice. They let the dice get in the person that the dice was meant to cheat Duke, but the dumbass is drunk, ain't no real gangsters, and let the Vic that they were supposed to cheat get the loaded dice. And Duke broke them off, took all their money, and left. And then got unalived and the bag full of jewelry and money gone. Because he had a bunch of jewelry for clients, like $1.5 million for jewelry, some big number like that, of jewelry. Because he was like one of the top jewelers in the game. Duke was. and he cleaned them out, and they couldn't let him leave with all that money. Cleaned everybody out, including Bootsy. Took all their money with their dirty dice. But that's checking in, y'all. Checking in as citizens. Like, you know what I'm saying? Takeoff thing was the same thing. They was running around scamming them. That J. Prince Sr. would say he's gonna protect you, and then they put you with his sleazeball son, who gonna do the opposite from protecting you. You seen Junior how he walked over Takeoff's body, over Takeoff unalive body. You didn't see that? How he came out, how he walked over him like he was trash. Go back and look at the footage how he walked over dude's body. And when they had Takeoff thing, you see they had the big ass flowers say Prince family, and they had a little thing in the back say Takeoff. But the thing, they had the flowers. Imagine somebody getting on the line under your watch, and you got some big ass flowers that say the Prince family. See, ain't no picture to Takeoff on this. And then there's a little thing down here to the left, you can't see it, and it say Takeoff on the wall. All right, y'all stay positive and make sure you support the channel. Your support is much appreciated. I'll be begging enough, huh? Victory.